Have you ever paused to wonder if the way you're spending your time and money is truly serving the life you want to live? After 60, life takes on a new rhythm, one that invites us to savor the quiet beauty of everyday moments and make choices that bring us peace and joy. Yet, without realizing it, many of us cling to habits that weigh us down, draining our savings and dimming the lightness of our golden years. In this video, we'll walk together through 9 common spending traps that can sneak into our lives, shared through heartfelt stories of women just like you. You'll discover practical wisdom to let go of what no longer serves you and embrace choices that make your days feel free, full, and truly yours. Watch until the end to uncover small, powerful shifts that can transform your financial peace and help you live with more joy, because you deserve a life that feels as beautiful as the moments you cherish most. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. The illusion of designer labels. Let us begin with a topic that has ensnared many of us at some point in our lives: the allure of expensive, brand-name clothing and accessories. For decades, society has peddled the notion that elegance is something we wear, that a prestigious designer label stitched into a blouse or embossed on a handbag somehow elevates our worth, commands greater respect, or makes us more visible in the eyes of others. Women, in particular, have been conditioned to believe that a well-known brand is a shortcut to sophistication, a symbol of success that broadcasts our status to the world. We invested in the silk blouses from Chanel, the leather handbags from Coach, the heels from Nordstrom, and for a time, it felt like the right choice. In the office, a polished appearance lent an air of professionalism, signaling competence and ambition. At social gatherings, a carefully curated outfit helped us blend into circles where appearances seemed to matter. Even at family events, dressing impeccably offered a sense of control, a way to project strength and poise. The act of dressing well became a ritual, a way to armor ourselves against the world's judgments and feel empowered in our skin. Allow me to introduce Helen, a 68-year-old woman who resides in a serene, tree-lined neighborhood in Pennsylvania. Helen was once a devoted follower of fashion, her closet a treasure trove of designer labels. Each morning, she would stand before her wardrobe, meticulously selecting the perfect outfit, perhaps a tailored blazer, a silk scarf, or a pair of gleaming leather pumps. She took pride in coordinating her accessories, from delicate earrings to elegant handbags, ensuring every detail was flawless. For Helen, these choices were more than aesthetic. They were a declaration of her identity, a way to assert her place in a world that often scrutinized women's appearances. But something profound shifted after Helen retired. Her days, once filled with meetings and social obligations, gave way to a quieter, more introspective rhythm. One crisp autumn morning, as she stood before her overflowing closet, a question pierced the silence. "Who am I dressing for now?" Her life had transformed. She spent her mornings baking cookies with her grandchildren, their flour-dusted hands giggling over misshapen dough. She tended to her garden, coaxing roses and lavender into bloom under the warm sun. She volunteered at the local library, reading stories to wide-eyed children or helping elderly patrons navigate the computer system. None of these moments demanded a $300 pair of shoes or a designer jacket. What they required was her presence, her warmth, her laughter, her ability to be fully engaged in the moment. Today, Helen still dresses with care, but her wardrobe has evolved to reflect her new priorities. She favors soft cotton dresses, comfortable flats, and cardigans that wrap her in coziness. These clothes allow her to move freely, to kneel in the garden or chase her grandchildren across the lawn. When asked about her style, Helen's eyes twinkle as she declares, "The best thing I wear now is my smile." And she means it. Her joy is palpable, radiating from a place of authenticity that no designer label could ever confer. The truth is, real elegance is not something you purchase at a boutique or display on a hanger. It emanates from within, from the way you make others feel when they're in your presence, the kindness in your voice when you share a story, or the spark in your eyes when your grandchild bounds into the room. Elegance is the confidence to be yourself, unapologetically, without the need for external validation. You don't require a logo to be worthy. Your worth is inherent, woven into the fabric of who you are. The next time you feel the urge to splurge on something flashy or expensive, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, Does this item add genuine joy to my life, or does it merely come with a hefty price tag? Does it align with who I am and how I want to live? You may find that choosing comfort, confidence, and authenticity over status feels like shedding a heavy burden. In that lightness, you'll discover a freedom that no designer label can provide, a freedom to define elegance on your terms. 2. The pressure to upgrade technology. Now, let us turn to a more insidious force in modern life, the relentless pressure to upgrade to the latest technology. Every year, tech companies unveil new phones, tablets, smartwatches, and gadgets, each promising lightning-fast speeds, crystal-clear cameras, and an array of features we're told are indispensable. The marketing is relentless. Sleek advertisements flood our screens, social media buzzes with influencers showcasing the must-have device, and the message is clear: if you don't keep up, you're falling behind. It's a seductive narrative, one that taps into our desire to stay connected, relevant, and in step with a rapidly changing world. But this constant chase comes at a cost, both financially and emotionally. Let me share the story of Ruth, a 72-year-old woman from Oregon who has always prided herself on her independence and tech savviness. Ruth was no stranger to smartphones. She used hers to stay in touch with her daughter in California, share photos of her garden, and even dabble in online puzzles. When a new phone hit the market, touted for its revolutionary camera, titanium body, and cutting-edge features, Ruth felt a spark of curiosity. Why not? She thought. Maybe this will make things even better. So, she spent over $1,000 on the device, expecting it to streamline her life and enhance her connections. Instead, the opposite happened. The new phone felt like a labyrinth of unfamiliar menus and cryptic settings. Buttons she once navigated with ease were now in different places. Notifications overwhelmed her, and she missed important calls from her daughter simply because she couldn't figure out the new interface. Far from empowering her, the phone left Ruth feeling frustrated, inadequate, and disconnected. All she truly wanted was to FaceTime her daughter, see her great-grandbaby's first smile, and share photos of her blooming peonies. Her old phone, she realized, had done all of that perfectly well. Ruth's experience underscores a broader truth. Technology is meant to serve us, not to dictate our lives or stress us out. Newer doesn't always mean better, especially when the device you already own meets your needs reliably. The tech industry thrives on convincing us that we're missing out, but wisdom lies in recognizing when good enough is truly enough. Ruth made the bold decision to return the new phone and revert to her old one. With its familiar interface, she regained her sense of control and peace. Now, she uses her phone intentionally, to connect with loved ones, capture moments that matter, and engage with the world on her terms, not the tech industry's. If you feel the pressure to upgrade, take a moment to step back and evaluate. Ask yourself, what do I use this device for? Does my current phone, tablet, or laptop still perform those tasks effectively? If the answer is yes, consider resisting the hype. You're not behind the curve, you're wise, discerning the difference between a want fueled by marketing and a need rooted in your daily life. By choosing to keep what works, you reclaim your time, your money, and your peace of mind, allowing technology to be a tool that enhances your life rather than complicates it. 3. The weight of credit card interest. Breaking free from financial burdens. Finally, let us address a topic that often lurks in the shadows, quietly eroding both our finances and our peace of mind. Credit card interest. For many, credit cards began as a convenient tool, a way to cover a dinner out, purchase a thoughtful gift, or handle an unexpected car repair. They offered flexibility, a bridge to the next paycheck. But over time, those small charges can accumulate, and what started as a manageable balance can balloon into a daunting debt. The real sting comes from the interest, which can siphon off hundreds or even thousands of dollars, not for things you're enjoying today, but for purchases long forgotten. Consider Joanne, a 70-year-old widow from Florida who knows this burden all too well. Joanne spent most of her life being frugal, carefully budgeting to provide for her family. But after her husband passed away, she found herself grappling with loneliness and uncertainty. To cope, she turned to her credit card more frequently. She bought small comforts online, a cozy throw blanket, a new coffee maker, to brighten her quiet evenings. She sent lavish gifts to her grandchildren, wanting to see their faces light up. She made home repairs to keep her house feeling like a sanctuary. None of these purchases were extravagant, but they added up, and Joanne didn't realize how much until she sat down to review her finances. The numbers shocked her. In just 2 years, she had paid over $9,000 in credit card interest alone. Her heart sank as she thought of what that money could have meant: covering medical bills, funding home repairs, or taking a long overdue trip with her sister to the beaches of Key West. The weight of that realization was heavy, not just financially but emotionally. Debt isn't merely a number on a statement. It's a feeling that can keep you awake at night, whispering anxieties about the future and regrets about the past. But Joanne refused to let despair define her. She took action with the same resilience that had carried her through life's challenges. She called her bank and negotiated a payment plan tailored to her budget. She made small, consistent payments, chipping away at the balance. To supplement her efforts, she sold a few household items she no longer needed, a rarely used dining set, some old jewelry, turning clutter into progress. Most importantly, Joanne forgave herself. She recognized that her choices, while imperfect, came from a place of grief and a desire to find joy. Learning, she reminded herself, is part of living. Joanne's story is a powerful reminder that debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. It's a challenge, yes, but one that can be met with determination and support. So many women carry this burden in silence, believing they must solve it alone or that it reflects a personal failure. But you are not alone, and debt does not define your worth. Resources exist: financial counselors, debt consolidation programs, even community workshops that can light the path forward. The less you owe, the lighter you feel, and that lightness creates space for joy, creativity, and the freedom to live life on your terms. If you're carrying credit card debt, take a small step today. Review your statements, call your bank to explore options, or confide in a trusted friend or advisor. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory. You deserve to reclaim your financial peace and the joy that comes with it. By letting go of the weight of interest, you open the door to a future where your money serves your dreams, not your debts. 4. The silent drain of unused subscriptions. In the modern world, there's an insidious financial trap that many of us fall into without even realizing it: the silent drain of unused subscriptions. Companies have mastered a subtle yet highly effective strategy, banking on our forgetfulness and inertia. They entice us with free trials, limited time offers, or the promise of endless entertainment, hoping we'll sign up on a whim and then neglect to cancel. Over time, these seemingly small charges, $9.99 for a streaming service here, $14.99 for a fitness app there, accumulate into a significant financial burden, quietly siphoning money from our bank accounts. Take Margaret, a 66-year-old retiree from Austin, Texas, as a case study in how this trap ensnares even the most well-intentioned among us. During the early months of the pandemic, when the world felt uncertain and isolating, Margaret sought comfort in the digital realm. She subscribed to a plethora of streaming platforms: Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, and even niche services like BritBox for her love of British mysteries. She also signed up for several fitness apps, promising herself she'd stay active while stuck at home. At the time, each subscription felt like a lifeline, a way to maintain control and bring joy during a challenging period. The monthly costs seemed negligible, and the convenience was undeniable. But as the months turned into years, Margaret began to notice a pattern. Her viewing habits had narrowed to just 2 shows: reruns of Murder, She Wrote, and a weekly cooking program, both of which she later discovered were available for free through her cable package or on public streaming platforms. The fitness apps went untouched, their notifications ignored. Yet, the charges continued to appear on her credit card statement, month after month. When Margaret finally sat down to review her expenses, she was stunned. She was spending over $90 a month, more than $1,080 a year, on subscriptions she rarely, if ever, used. The realization was a wake-up call. Margaret thought about the opportunities that $1,080 could have afforded: a weekend getaway with her sister to the Texas Hill Country, a contribution to her emergency savings fund, or even a series of delightful dinners at her favorite local restaurant. The money wasn't just a number. It represented experiences, security, and moments of joy she had unknowingly sacrificed. Determined to reclaim control, Margaret took decisive action. She combed through her bank statements, compiled a comprehensive list of every subscription, and canceled all but one streaming service, which she kept for her beloved mysteries. Inspired to be more intentional, Margaret adopted a new approach: rotating her subscriptions. Each month, She selects one or two services based on what she's genuinely excited to watch, ensuring she maximizes value and enjoyment. Along the way, she made a delightful discovery through her local library, a free app called Canopy, which offers thousands of movies, documentaries, and educational programs at no cost with a library card. From critically acclaimed films to thought-provoking documentaries, Canopy provided a treasure trove of content that enriched her life without adding to her expenses. Margaret's story underscores a broader truth. We're often conditioned to believe that more choices equate to more happiness. Yet, the opposite is often true. An abundance of subscriptions can lead to decision fatigue, leaving us overwhelmed and disconnected from the content we consume. By paring down her subscriptions, Margaret not only saved money but also rediscovered the joy of intentionality. She found that fewer, carefully chosen options allowed her to savor her entertainment more deeply. If you haven't reviewed your subscriptions recently, now is the perfect time to do so. Pull up your bank or credit card statements, identify recurring charges, and ask yourself, when was the last time I used this service? Does it still bring me joy? Canceling unused subscriptions isn't just about saving money. It's about reclaiming agency over your financial life and prioritizing what truly matters. The relief you feel might come not only from the dollars saved, but from the clarity of choosing a life aligned with your values. 5. The cost of chasing the jackpot. Every Wednesday and Saturday night, a quiet ritual unfolds in millions of households across the country. People carefully select their numbers, purchase lottery tickets, and clutch them with a flicker of hope, dreaming of a life transformed. For a fleeting moment, the possibility of winning feels tantalizingly close, a chance to pay off debts, travel the world, or secure a comfortable retirement. But beneath this allure lies a harsh reality. The lottery is not a financial strategy. It's a dream we keep paying for, often at a cost far greater than we realize. Dolores, a 65-year-old grandmother from Cleveland, Ohio, knows this truth all too well. For years, she was a devoted Powerball player, spending $10 every payday on tickets, sometimes doubling down to $20 when the jackpot swelled to headline-grabbing figures. For Dolores, the lottery wasn't just about the money. It was about the possibilities it represented. She imagined paying off her modest home, helping her grown children with their student loans, or taking her grandchildren on a dream vacation to Disney World. Each ticket was a small investment in hope, a whisper of maybe next time after every loss. But after 5 years of consistent play, Dolores decided to confront the numbers, not the ones on her tickets, but the ones in her bank account. She meticulously calculated her lottery spending, tallying up every $10 and $20 purchase over the years. The total was staggering. Over $5,000, not counting the occasional scratch-off tickets or extra plays during massive jackpots. $5,000, enough to have funded a new roof for her home, a reliable used car, or a substantial nest egg for unexpected medical expenses. Instead, all she had to show for it was a shoebox of losing tickets and a growing sense of regret. The exercise forced Dolores to re-evaluate her relationship with the lottery. She realized she had been chasing a mirage, buying into a promise of hope that rarely, if ever, was delivered. The odds of winning a major jackpot, 1 in 292.2 million for Powerball, meant her money was more likely to vanish than multiply. So, she made a bold decision. She stopped playing altogether. Instead of funneling her money into tickets, she began redirecting that $10 a week into a savings jar labeled Future Joy. This small shift transformed her life in ways she hadn't anticipated. With her savings, Dolores enrolled in a pottery class at her local community center, where she discovered a passion for creating handmade gifts for her family. She joined a day trip with friends to a nearby vineyard, savoring laughter and connection. She even surprised her grandchildren with small, thoughtful presents, like books and art supplies, that deepened their bond. These experiences brought her immediate, tangible joy, unlike the empty promises of a lottery ticket. Dolores's story reveals a profound truth. True wealth lies not in the fleeting chance of a jackpot but in the love, wisdom, and experiences we cultivate every day. The lottery sells the illusion of a quick fix, but real financial security and happiness are built through small, deliberate choices. If you find yourself buying tickets regularly, pause and reflect. What am I seeking? Is there another way to bring that dream to life? Perhaps it's saving for a meaningful goal, investing in a new skill, or simply spending time with those you love. The life you want isn't one in a drawing. It's crafted, one wise decision at a time. Sixth, the true cost of food delivery convenience. In an era of instant gratification, food delivery services like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub have become a staple of modern life. With a few taps on a smartphone, a hot meal arrives at your door. No cooking, no cleanup, just pure convenience. But this ease comes with a steep price, not only in dollars but in its impact on our health, emotions, and sense of connection. Over time, the convenience of food delivery can erode the very nourishment we seek, leaving us physically and emotionally depleted. Linda, a 63-year-old widow from San Diego, California, learned this lesson firsthand. After her husband passed away, cooking for one felt like a painful reminder of her loss. The kitchen, once a place of shared meals and laughter, became a source of loneliness. Food delivery offered a reprieve. 4 or 5 nights a week, Linda ordered takeout. Thai curry one night, pizza the next, burgers or pasta when she craved comfort. The ritual was simple and soothing, sparing her the effort of planning meals or washing dishes. But over time, the convenience began to take a toll. During a routine checkup, Linda's doctor delivered sobering news. Her blood pressure was creeping up, she had gained weight, and she reported feeling chronically fatigued, not just physically, but emotionally. Concerned, Linda decided to investigate the root of these changes. She reviewed her bank statements and was shocked to discover she had spent over $3,000 in a single year on food delivery. This wasn't money spent on high-quality, nourishing meals, but on sodium-laden, calorie-dense dishes that left her feeling sluggish. Worse, she realized she had been eating most of these meals alone, in front of the television, disconnected from the joy food once brought her. This revelation was a turning point. Linda committed herself. She would cook at least 3 home-cooked meals a week. She didn't aim for culinary perfection, just simple, wholesome dishes like hearty vegetable soup, roasted chicken with herbs, or a colorful salad with ingredients from her local farmer's market. As she rediscovered the rhythms of the kitchen, something remarkable happened. The act of cooking became a form of self-care, a way to honor her body and her memories. The aroma of garlic sizzling in olive oil, the meditative chop of vegetables, the quiet pride of setting a table for one, all of these rekindled a sense of purpose. Linda also began inviting her neighbor, Maria, over for a weekly lunch. What started as a casual meal grew into a cherished tradition, filled with shared stories, family recipes, and laughter. These moments of connection nourished Linda's spirit in ways takeout never could. Her health improved, her blood pressure stabilized, and she felt more energized, but the real transformation was emotional. Cooking became an act of love, a declaration that she was worth the effort. This isn't to say food delivery has no place. An occasional order can be a treat or a necessity on busy days. But when it becomes a default, we risk losing the deeper nourishment that comes from preparing and sharing food. Cooking is more than a task. It's a ritual of care, a bridge to memory, and a celebration of life. If you've been leaning heavily on delivery, consider starting small, perhaps 1 home-cooked meal a week. You might be surprised by how much joy it brings, not just to your plate, but to your heart. 7. The guilt of unused exercise equipment. The decision to invest in exercise equipment often begins with the best of intentions. A New Year's resolution, a milestone birthday, or a personal promise to prioritize health. We envision ourselves transformed, stronger, fitter, brimming with energy. So we splurge on a gleaming treadmill, a set of high-end weights, or a stationary bike that rivals the cost of a small car. But all too often, life intervenes, and that equipment becomes a silent monument to guilt, collecting dust in a corner of our homes. Nancy, a 69-year-old retiree from a quiet cul-de-sac in Savannah, Georgia, experienced this cycle firsthand. Last spring, inspired by a desire to stay active, she purchased a state-of-the-art elliptical machine. It arrived with all the bells and whistles, heart rate monitors, pre-programmed workouts, even a built-in fan. For 2 weeks, Nancy was diligent, using it daily while watching her favorite morning talk shows. The machine felt like a promise of a healthier future. But then, as it so often does, life got in the way. A family visit demanded her attention, a sore knee slowed her down, and a shift in her daily routine made morning workouts less feasible. The elliptical sat unused, its sleek design a stark contrast to the laundry now draped over its handles. Every time Nancy passed it, she felt a pang of guilt, not just for the $1,500 she had spent, but for what she perceived as a personal failure. The machine seemed to whisper that she had given up, that she wasn't disciplined enough to follow through. Nancy's story is far from unique. Countless people invest in expensive equipment, believing it's the key to lasting fitness, only to find themselves trapped in a cycle of shame when their plans falter. The truth, however, is that fitness doesn't require a machine. It's not about the equipment, it's about movement, consistency, and finding joy in the process. Our bodies don't need $2,000 worth of technology to thrive. They need opportunities to move in ways that feel sustainable and fulfilling. Recognizing this, Nancy permitted herself to let go. She sold the elliptical to a neighbor who was eager to use it, recouping some of her investment. Then, she sought out a different path to fitness, one that didn't rely on expensive gear. She joined a local walking group that meets twice a week at a nearby park. The group, composed of women of all ages, offered camaraderie, fresh air, and a pressure-free environment. Nancy found herself looking forward to their walks, not just for the exercise but for the conversations and connections they fostered. The change was transformative. Nancy began moving more regularly, sleeping better, and feeling happier. She also started incorporating other joyful forms of movement into her life. Gentle yoga from free online videos, dancing to Motown classics in her kitchen, even gardening on sunny afternoons. These activities didn't require a financial investment, but they delivered something far more valuable: a sense of freedom and self-acceptance. If you have unused exercise equipment in your home, know this: you are not a failure. You are human, navigating the complexities of life. The guilt you feel is a sign that you care about your health, and that's a powerful starting point. Instead of letting that equipment define your worth, consider letting it go. Sell it, donate it, or repurpose the space. Then, explore movement that fits your life, whether it's a daily walk, a dance class, or stretching in your living room. Fitness isn't about perfection or expensive tools. It's about creating habits that make you feel alive. You deserve that, and it's never too late to begin. 8. The illusion of overpriced personal growth courses. The allure of personal growth courses is undeniable. They beckon with grand promises, to uncover your life's purpose, to ignite lasting happiness, to fill the void you've been grappling with for years. These programs, often marketed with glossy testimonials and charismatic coaches, tap into a universal human desire for meaning and self-discovery. For some, these courses deliver transformative insights, offering structured guidance and a supportive community that genuinely enriches their lives. When thoughtfully designed, they can be worth their weight in gold, providing tools and perspectives that spark real change. But far too often, these programs come with exorbitant price tags and fall short of their lofty claims, leaving participants with little more than fleeting inspiration and a lighter bank account. Consider the story of Barbara, a 71-year-old retiree from Minnesota, who learned this lesson firsthand. After dedicating over 4 decades to a fulfilling career as a nurse, Barbara found herself adrift in retirement. The rhythm of her days, once filled with the urgency of caring for patients, the camaraderie of colleagues, and the quiet pride of making a difference, had vanished. In its place was an unsettling stillness, a void where her sense of purpose once thrived. Seeking to reclaim that spark, she stumbled across an online advertisement for a personal coaching program. It's a bold promise to help her rediscover her inner fire and unlock a vibrant new chapter of life. The cost was steep, over $4,000, but Barbara convinced herself it was a worthwhile investment in her future. This will change everything, she thought, signing up with a mix of hope and trepidation. 4 months, Barbara immersed herself in the program. She diligently attended weekly Zoom calls, where a polished facilitator delivered motivational talks. She completed stacks of introspective worksheets, joined lively online forums, and even participated in group exercises designed to foster breakthroughs. At times, the energy was infectious. The stories of fellow participants and the facilitator's enthusiasm made her feel like she was on the cusp of something profound. Yet, beneath the surface, a nagging doubt persisted. Something about the experience felt hollow, as if the program was more about keeping her engaged than truly transforming her life. When the course finally concluded, Barbara sat down to review her notes, hoping to crystallize the wisdom she'd gained. Instead, she was struck by a sobering realization. The revelations she'd been taught were truths she already carried within her. The lessons, about resilience, self-worth, and finding joy in small moments, were echoes of experiences she'd navigated decades earlier, through career challenges, personal losses, and quiet triumphs. The program hadn't unearthed new insights. It had simply repackaged her hard-earned wisdom and sold it back to her at a premium. That was her turning point. Barbara vowed to stop seeking external validation for her worth. She didn't need a course to tell her who she was. She had known all along. With newfound clarity, Barbara shifted her focus inward and outward, seeking meaning in authentic, grounded ways. She joined a book club at her local library, where lively discussions over novels rekindled her love of learning and forged new friendships. She began volunteering at a women's shelter one day a week, offering support to those navigating hardship and rediscovering the joy of helping others. Most meaningfully, she started mentoring a young woman who had recently lost her mother, sharing stories, advice, and quiet moments of understanding. Through these acts of connection and contribution, Barbara felt her purpose roar back to life, not because she'd purchased it, but because she'd given it freely. Barbara's story carries a powerful lesson. The richest personal growth doesn't come from flashy programs or hefty price tags. It emerges from the quiet beauty of human connection, the courage to listen to your wisdom, and the generosity to share it with others. If you're feeling lost or unmoored, resist the urge to believe you need fixing. You are not broken. You are evolving, and that journey requires patience, self-compassion, and real-world community, not a credit card. The most profound course you'll ever take is the one you're already enrolled in, the course of life itself. And in that, you've already earned top honors. 9. The hidden costs of buying a brand new car. For many, purchasing a car is one of life's most significant financial decisions, second only to buying a home. It's a choice laden with emotion, pride in ownership, the thrill of a smooth ride, the security of reliability. Especially in retirement, when mobility and safety become paramount, a comfortable vehicle can feel like a necessity, not a luxury. But while there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting a dependable car, the decision to buy a brand new one often comes with a steep and often overlooked cost. The moment you drive that gleaming vehicle off the dealership lot, its value plummets, draining your finances in ways that can ripple through your budget for years. In contrast, opting for a gently used or certified pre-owned car can offer nearly identical benefits at a fraction of the price, freeing up resources for experiences that bring far greater joy. Take Edith, a 75-year-old retiree from Illinois, whose experience illustrates this truth. For most of her life, Edith had driven used cars, appreciating their affordability and practicality. But when her trusty sedan finally gave out after years of faithful service, she found herself at a crossroads. Newly retired and with a bit of savings, she began to wonder if it was time to treat herself. "I've worked hard my whole life," she thought. "Don't I deserve something shiny and new?" Drawn in by sleek advertisements and the allure of a fresh start, Edith visited a dealership and drove away in a brand new, fully loaded SUV. The price tag was daunting, and the monthly payments stretched her budget uncomfortably thin, but the excitement of the purchase dulled her concerns. At first, the car was everything she'd hoped for. The intoxicating new car smell, the whisper-quiet ride, the admiring glances from neighbors. For a fleeting moment, it felt like a reward well earned. But the honeymoon phase didn't last. Within a year, Edith learned a harsh lesson about depreciation. Her SUV, which had cost her tens of thousands of dollars, had already lost over 30% of its value, a loss of thousands in just 12 months. The financial sting was compounded by her tightening budget. To keep up with the car payments, Edith began cutting back on the small joys that had defined her retirement. Weekend getaways to visit family, spontaneous lunches with friends, even her annual tradition of attending a local theater production. Her shiny new car, once a source of pride, began to feel like an anchor, sitting idly in her driveway while her world grew smaller. Frustrated and determined to reclaim her financial freedom, Edith made a bold move. She traded in her SUV for a certified pre-owned vehicle, just 2 years old, with low mileage and a full warranty. The switch slashed her monthly payments in half, and the car was virtually indistinguishable from a new one in terms of performance and comfort. With the extra money in her budget, Edith fulfilled a long-held dream. She took a scenic train trip through the Rocky Mountains, marveling at snow-capped peaks and sharing stories with fellow travelers. That journey, filled with breathtaking views and quiet moments of reflection, brought her a depth of joy that no new car ever could. Edith's story underscores a critical truth. In retirement, peace of mind is worth more than status or fleeting admiration. A brand new car might offer a temporary thrill, but its rapidly depreciating value and ongoing costs can erode your financial security and limit your ability to live life on your terms. Before you sign on the dotted line, pause and consider a smarter alternative. A certified pre-owned vehicle, rigorously inspected and often backed by extended warranties, can provide the same safety and reliability at a significantly lower cost. The money you save can fund experiences, travel, hobbies, time with loved ones, that enrich your life far beyond the fleeting allure of a new car's shine. In the end, the vehicle that matters most is the one that carries you toward a life of fulfillment, not financial strain. You've made it to the end, and I want to thank you for taking this journey with us. Today, we've explored 9 spending traps that can quietly weigh on our hearts and wallets, and we've heard stories of wise women who've learned to let go and live lighter. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one lesson that resonated with you today? What's one small change you're ready to bring into your life to create more peace and joy? Please share it in the comments below. Not just for you, but to inspire someone else who might need that spark of courage, too. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these heartfelt conversations to empower more women to live freely and fully in this beautiful chapter of life. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself and keep choosing what truly matters.